Hello! Colin, I have to start off by saying I loved your last video. The questions that you asked are amazing. Like, they're really, there's a lot to them that you really have to think about. And one thing that you forgot to mention is that your last video was our 100th vlog, which is crazy. We've been doing this for so long. And just looking back at all the previous videos, it's cool to see how far we've come. Like, if you look at those first 5 videos, we both did kind of terrible. So the question that Colin asked me was, what reality for alternate realities as far as games and shows and stuff like that would I want to live in, and what console would I want my kids to start with if they wanted to play video games? So let's address these one at a time, just like Colin did in his previous video. So Colin, with the reality question that you asked, the big factor is, do we have these skills for this world? And based on what you were saying, how you were picking your world, it sounded like you were going with no, because you used the reference as for Harry Potter and for Dragon Ball Z that you wouldn't have these powers that Goku has, and there's a chance that you wouldn't be a wizard. With that being said, like, if we're entering these worlds just as we are, it's a big change versus, like, if we jump into this world and we are guaranteed to have these special abilities or, the know how to do all these cool things that our favorite characters do. If we're entered into these realities exactly as we are now, you are 100% correct that Pokemon would be awesome. Because like you said, anyone can train a Pokemon, can have their own Pokemon, and even if you're not battling or, training the Pokemon, there's Pokemon in the anime, like these families that just have them for pets. That'd be so cool to just have like an Eevee hanging out at your house and just being your personal like dog or awesome, cool pet that can protect you because it's got a little bit of power behind it. And Colin, what you were saying about the whole terrorists and everything, I think Pokemon would know better, because if you use the reference that they don't really know what they're doing in the Pokemon anime. But there is one episode that I'd like to point out where Diglett is tearing up the road. I have no idea what episode this is, but there are a bunch of Diglets tearing up the road, and the trainers send out their Pokemon, or try to send out their Pokemon to stop the Diglets, and they refuse to come out of their Pokeballs because they know that Diglett is doing something good. Diglett is, there's miners or something, and they're mining somewhere, and the Diglets are preventing them. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure you remember this episode, but Pokemon do have a conscience that tell them right from wrong. Now, on the flip side of things, if we are entering these realities with the know-how and all the abilities that our favorite characters have, like if you're guaranteed to be a wizard if you choose the Harry Potter universe, or if you're guaranteed to be a superhero if you enter the Marvel universe, or something like that, that's a big difference. So if we're going off of that concept, I personally think I would choose, I don't know, this is really tough and there's plenty of good ones out there, but honestly, I think I would choose Avatar. And not the blue alien movie, I'm talking about Avatar, the Nickelodeon show, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Primarily The Legend of Korra, because I like The Legend of Korra a little bit better. And again, this is if I'm guaranteed to be a bender, or like, a firebender or an earthbender or whatever. I think, the controlling of these elements, in this show, like how they do it, is very cool. Like, it really piques my curiosity, not curiosity, but my interest, and I really like the show because of it. So Colin, if you did have these abilities or know how to survive in these worlds, would you want to go with Dragon Ball Z, like you were mentioning kind of before, or would you want to go to Harry Potter, or what is it? Just tell me. And everyone else, let me know in the comments. Now, as for your kids playing games, that is really tricky, because it's like, I wouldn't want to start them with a really, really old system. Like, I would not want to put them on the Super Nintendo, just because that is so old. And vice versa, like, I don't know when I'm going to have kids. That could be, like, years from now. And like you were saying with the Nintendo 64, that's going to be pretty old. Would you want to start them on something that far back? And also, on top of this, what console did you start with? Did you start with a Nintendo 64? Like, because you're starting your kid with the same console that you started with. you're pushing them back that much farther. Me personally, I got started on the NES and the SNES. Those were my first two consoles that I played on. My earliest memories for games were Super Mario World and Super Mario 3. I loved playing those games. So that being said, for my kid, I wouldn't want them to start with a game like that. But I'm kind of contradicting myself that I wouldn't want to push them back that far. Now, the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube don't have Mario games that are like Mario World or Mario 3. So, that being said, I would probably want their first game to be New Super Mario Bros. For either the Wii or Wii U. I would prefer them to be like, the older consoles like you were saying with the Nintendo 64, but there's no game like that that's available. Also, Colin, I totally agree about the Game Boy, except I probably wouldn't start my kid with the Game Boy Color like what we started with, because obviously time goes on, new things come out. We've got freaking the Google glasses that let us see into outer space now. Like, times have changed, like, technology has advanced so far. So honestly, I would probably start them with like 2DS or the normal Nintendo DS without the 3D. Like something along that line. Because by the time that my kids are born, I mean, granted I haven't figured all this out, but there's probably going to be 2 new handheld consoles in the Nintendo DS line. But I totally agree with you on the Pokemon. I would probably start them with whatever Pokemon fits for that console, that being Pokemon X and Y, or if it's the DS, maybe Pokemon Black and White, or whatever else is on that one. I'm not 100% sure. One difference I would make compared to you, though, and this is actually going to sound mean, but you said you want to be able to help them with their Pokemon game because you were saying you always got stuck in Rock Tunnel. I would not help them with their Pokemon game. Sure, I mean, if they got confused, I would be like, oh yeah, you need Flash to get through that. But I'm not, that's it. Like, I'm just gonna say that you need a certain item to get to this point. I'm not gonna, hold their hand through the game, because with a video game, you want to do things yourself. You are the adventurer, and you want to figure everything out by yourself. If, even as a life lesson for your kid, that's just showing them that they're gonna have someone to show them the way throughout their entire life. They're not gonna be very independent and be able to rely on themselves to figure things out. And this is taking a weird turn. So I kind of established that I would want them to play a more classic Mario first, but I never really said what system that was, because I don't necessarily want to start them on the Wii or the Wii U. Honestly, I would probably start them with the PS2. It would just be tricky. I would want to find a game that is similar or as easy as the classic Marios, which is very difficult to do because Mario is so unique. But to change things up, now that I just realized, there is a DS game that is New Super Mario. So I could give them that to experiment with and get the Mario like I kind of would want them to. And then as far as the PS2, I don't know what I would give them. I would probably give them probably maybe like Jak and Daxter. Jak and Daxter 1, that is, not the 2 and 3. And then maybe Sly Cooper. Something like that. Something a little easy and a little bit more fun that they can, play around with. So I kind of went all over the place with that answer, and I apologize for that, but hopefully I answered it properly enough for you. My question for you, like I mentioned, I started playing games at a very, very young age. What age would you want to start your kids at? Like, when would you be like, okay, here, let me show you this old Nintendo 64? When would you pull that out of the closet to show them that? My personal experience, I started playing, like I said, Super Nintendo when I was 2 years old. Like, I was a baby and I was playing games. Like, and I mean, for my kid, I wouldn't be like, hey, come over here, I gotta show you this, you gotta do this. But like, if I'm playing a game and they sit next to me and they're really, really curious, then as soon as they get curious is when I'm going to show them the games. I'm just curious what you would have in mind. Would you wait until they're like 5 or 6 so they can actually comprehend the games? Or would you just let them play as soon as they show any scribble of interest in it? Scribble of interest? You know what I meant. So that being said, that is all I've got for you today. I hope I adequately answered your questions, and I look forward to your answer to mine. Have a great day, guys. I will see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I don't know why I said next week, but you know, I'll see you later on in the next video. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you would start your kids with for video games and what age you would want them to play it. Feel free to check out some of our other videos, and if you're feeling really creative, just go all the way back to the beginning of the playlist. I mean, we have 100 videos for you guys to check out.